So what
Right.
happens in relationships is either they're both living their separate life, they don't really have a bond anymore, or they have a bond, but you lose your identity. And on my podcast, I've spoken freely about this. When I was married the first time, I lost my identity, and it was not anything at all that my spouse did. It was all self-induced pressure. I became a husband for the first time. I became a stepfather right away. I became a father. I was a provider. I felt like I always had to be there for her and the kids. And I just never had time to go hang out with the guys or watch the game or play poker or go sailing or golf or whatever people like to do.
Right.
Now, let me be very clear. She never once said, no, you can't go do that.
Hmm.
But I felt such an obligation to be present every day that I really lost who I was. And then that causes conflict in the relationship because I didn't communicate that I needed some me time.
Right. Did you know in those moments that you did need some me time, or you didn't even realize that it was an issue?
Didn't even realize it.
That's
I
really
just knew
interesting
my
because
chest was tight. I was stressed. And my current spouse, when we were dating, and we dated a long time, and she met my former spouse because we were going to a play that my son was in, and he was in grade school at the time, a little kid, and eventually she asked me, what went wrong between you two? Because she's great. Your former spouse is wonderful. She's smart. She's funny. She's pretty. And the whole deal. And I said, you know how I feel how I act when my chest gets tight? And she's like, yeah, you're miserable when your chest gets tight. And I get stressed. I'm like, I was like that for 3 years. She's like, oh my God. She had so much patience. I wouldn't have put up with that for 2 weeks.